hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. So the Southern Cross, very cool. We learn about them in Cucuruz Doan's Island. I mean, we learn about them, but we don't know much about them. So that's what I'm going to do with this video. I'm going to dive into the lore or what exists so far for the Southern Cross. This includes the type of mobile suits, the pilots, and kind of the context of their story within the UC timeline. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. And as you're watching this and you think it's pretty cool, give it a like and check the links in the description for the Discord, Patreon, etc. But let's get started. All right, so with the release of Cucuruz Doan's Island, we get a cool Gundam movie during the 1 Year War in origin style. It's very cool. It's a very awesome movie. I have a kind of an impressions reaction video up on the channel. But some new things introduced happen to do with mobile suits, and it's the Southern Cross. It's a very badass unit of Zaku's that I'm going to dive into. And there's some cool pilots, too. There's a little bit of storyline between Doan and this Southern Cross group, so it's kind of interesting, and I'll dive into that as well. All right, the first scene with them is you see them all kind of skating around, which is always awesome. I love it when mobile suits skate around. It seems pretty cool. But yeah, the unit is moving in. This is a pivotal part in the 1 Year War. And timelines are a little different between Origin and the regular UC. Nothing drastic, something I might cover in another video. But we see this kind of untold story about a unit, the Southern Cross, and the story actually in this movie ties into the greater 1 Year War and even something pretty drastic that could occur. So the stakes are higher than we all think. All right, a little bit of background. Mukuve, the commander of the Zeon forces on Earth, contacted the Federation attack force led by Gomp, warning them to cancel the attack on Gibraltar, threatening to destroy major Earth cities should he refuse. Now, that's the main part where the story moves into high-stakes territory. However, Gomp simply ignored the threat. At the same time, the Southern Cross Corps piloting an MS-06 GD Zaku High Mobility surface type defeated a group of GMs attacking Casablanca and rescued Allied forces. After the battle, the team's latest member, Doan Rashika, remarked that he joined because of his interest in the team's former captain, Doan, wanting to see how strong he was up close. He was quickly cut off by the group's new leader, Egba Atler, who held his Zaku at knife point and warned him never to speak of the traitor's name. So while we have this dude Doan on this island, Doan, who we assume is with Zeon, he has a Zaku, actually was part of the Southern Cross. He was the former captain of the team or the leader, what have you. And there's something going on the island he's at. And the story does a really good job actually explaining this without using a lot of exposition. They use callbacks in the story. But basically, they're assuming now that Doan could be a traitor. And so they have to go and rush in on the island and stop him from whatever he's doing. And, a little bit of a major spoiler if you don't want to hear this, but it'll probably take 30 seconds or so. He's in charge of making sure a missile launches that's going to destroy major cities across the globe. But you find out that he, in fact, sabotaged the missiles. He didn't want anything bad to happen. So it's kind of a good ending. Now, as for the mobile suits in use, this is the MS-06 GD Zaku High Mobility surface type. Already, the high mobility is awesome. Surface type is very interesting. I think that is where the skating aspect comes in, the skating around, but also high mobility because it has all the thrusters, so it could probably, that's just pretty awesome if you think about it. The Zaku, the Zeon Zakus from space anyway, they're kind of used to testing things out in space. On Earth, it's a little different for them. Dealing with the gravity more often. So it's cool to see these variations of Zakus that lend themselves to different, atmospheres. What's cool here is the surface type. That's not something I hear about a lot. And according to this, it's developed from the Zaku 2 high mobility type, just without the surface part to it. And yeah, this is a cool shot of one. It looks like from the Black Tri-Stars. And then this was developed from the 06C Zaku 2. It's very cool that this is like the origin version. So this is where some interesting lore maybe gets divided because we have this main tab. Reminds me of the Star Wars Wiki and the Legacy and the canon or whatever. But The 6C Zaku 2, I guess, was an early production type. Okay, so this is, newer, so there's not too much more information out there, but a variant of the Zaku developed by the Southern Cross Corps after the escape of Cucuruz Doan. It is a high mobility type Zaku for land combat with thrusters added to its legs and waist and can move at high speeds by hovering. As the name Brown Southern Cross implies, it is painted in brown camouflage, and its color pattern and armament differ from one machine to another, and I'll get more into that here shortly. And, there's a group of them. I think, it's 5, and they actually all have different, I guess, loadouts, if you will, and it's kind of the same mobile suit. And so we'll get into that. All right, and they actually have the variants listed here. This is pretty cool, and I'm going to go through each one individually of what they look like. But so far, Egba's unit, it has a blade antenna on its head, and is equipped with a Zaku machine gun with a heat dagger bayonet and heat saber. Wald's unit, equipped with an anti-ship rifle shorty and a heat hawk. It excels at sniping. A pair of spare magazines for the rifle are mounted on its right shoulder shield. Sango's unit, an orthodox machine equipped with a Zaku machine gun and heat dagger. So, kind of basic there. Selma's unit, a medium-range support type equipped with a bazooka and a heat dagger. A pair of spare magazines for the bazooka are mounted on its right shoulder shield. And Danan's unit, equipped with a Zaku machine gun and heat hawk. Due to Danan's fighting style, it excels at tricky tactics such as throwing the heat hawk. So pretty cool. All right, so here's Egba's unit, and we're going to see that these all look the same. They just have little variations. The antenna, the bayonet. Here's a back shot, and here's Wald's. And back shot. Seeing that giant gun, it looks awesome. It reminds me of Unicorn. Here's Danan's. We could see the dual heat hawks. And again, a back shot here to get a look. And this is Sanyo's, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It has that cool knife dagger that's on it, which is pretty neat look. And there's the back. And here's Selma's with the bazooka and the heat dagger. And the back, nothing too different there. Seeing all those mobile suits makes me think that this is something easy that can come out as a high grade. They already have an origin line of high grades. They can easily come out with this MS-06GD Zaku High Mobility surface type and maybe make it include all the different weapons and accessories or option for the antenna and the different types of the stars that are on it. And I can get into that actually here in a second. But that'd be very easy to create that kit. People buy 5 of them, customize each one to look like the specified unit. And what I wanted to show real quick is over at the top, you can see the emblem, the Southern Cross Star emblem, and it actually has like a star that's black. And you'll see that with each unit, it's in a different place. I know it's kind of at the top of the screen. It's kind of awkward how that's working, but you can see where that's at the bottom right there and top right. So if they were to add decals, it would be that Southern Cross emblem, but with the stars in different areas. All right, and as for the pilots, we have Danan Rashika. Who knows if I'm saying any of this right. Just a little bit of information. He is a mobile suit pilot who volunteered to join the Southern Cross team. He is belligerent and interested in Doan, the former captain. So he's the guy that wanted to kind of size up to Doan and see what he was made of. All right, and then we have Selma Livens, a member of the Southern Cross team. She has feelings for her former captain, Doan, in a different way from Egba. And here's Wald Wren. He is the second in command of the Southern Cross and is the sniper in his unit. He is an expert marksman with his modified anti-ship rifle. And they really do a good job showing off the sniping that he's capable of. In fact, all of the mobile suits and their various specified weaponry and skill set is shown off in the movie. Here's Yun Sano, or Sanyo. Yun Sanyo, perhaps. Let's see, a little bit about him. A member of the Southern Cross team that supports the front line in Morocco. He is a pilot who has excellent skills, even amongst the elite squadrons. And if I'm not mistaken, his mobile suit was the one that was pretty just vanilla and standard because he just rocked with it. All right, and here's Egba Atler. Look at that guy. That looks familiar, doesn't he? He is the current commander of the mobile suit unit that Cucuruz Doan once led. He hates Doan for his desertion. All right, and in the special edition Blu-ray, it came with this booklet that actually has a page on each member. Well, actually, it has a page of all 5 members. There's not really too much information. In fact, most of it I got it from online. Well, anyway, there you have it. That is the lore that we have so far of the Southern Cross and Cucuruz Doan's Island. Be sure to check out the movie to see them in action. It is hella awesome watching them in action. Need some high grade Gunpla stat so I can start building them out. They just look really cool. It has everything you'd want from a Zaku, and it's very unique colors to it as well. So curious what your thoughts are on the Southern Cross, something that's added in to UC lore. I don't know if there's any more about them that is this pulled from some old school like MSV or some other type of information, or is this completely brand new? Because we know with Code Fairy, the game that was just released recently, it was based on some old lore that they just kind of expanded upon. So I'm curious if it's the same with Southern Cross or not. I didn't really find anything on that. But if any of you have any more information, let me know. Put it in the comments. And also curious what your thoughts would be on getting a Gunpla for the Southern Cross. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk later.